Welcome back. Going to the phone lines. How's Roz doing? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Howdy, Roz.
Sorry about that, guys. You were talking about shrink wrapping the boat, and it brought back a memory of mine. When my grandson was, about 4 or 5 years old, he was in the car with me working, and I was working in Huron area. And I hear from the back seat, Amy, why are they throwing the boats away?
That's cute.
Yeah, I thought it was. And I had to explain to him that that's how you took care of them over the winter, but he thought they were in garbage bags.
Oh,
Oh,
some
cute.
of them are, Roz.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought about that. And ever since then, we've called them boats in a bag.
Ah.
That's the family thing.
There
Yeah.
you go.
It's
All
cute.
right. That's
That's very
brought back
good.
that memory.
Yeah.
And Carl,
Yo.
enjoy this time with your grandson. It's their cutest
Oh,
stage.
yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Because
Alrighty.
a four-said grandson is now a dad in his 20s. So,
There you go.
Wow.
yeah,
Good.
it's the most fun time.
You got it. Well, have a good day.
You too.
Take care.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And how's Mike doing?
Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing on this blessed Veterans Day weekend?
Wonderful.
Actually, peachy.
Peachy keen.
Yeah, well, Mr. Carl, I have a little story for you.
Uh-oh.
I came home from my job site shift on Friday night, and guess how many deer were in my yard?
3.
No,
4,
No.
7.
no,
8.
Wow.
no.
Whoa. How
None-
many?
None.
12 of all things.
Oh,
Wow.
my God. Oh, you must have a
A
big
dozen.
yard or they were crammed in there.
Well, I live next to the Rocky River Metro Parks Reservation here, and there's lots of trees around where my house is actually, so it might have attracted them to the acorns and the oak trees or something else they like to eat around here, but I didn't expect that many deer around here. I have to
That's
drive
a
through
lot.
Parma all the time to get to my parents' house, and there's deer all over the place, so I got to take it careful over there, too. And I might have to get a Nathan K5LA train horn for my next vehicle, because I definitely would like one of those eventually. That would be nice.
Wow.
Anyway, Mr. Carl, you guys okay from that incident with that deer jumping in front of your vehicle on I-71? That sounds like a really scary story, sir.
It was. Tom Myers known for having a weak ticker, and he was freaking out, and I was freaking out because I thought he was going to have a heart attack, but he didn't.
Does he have a pacemaker, actually?
I don't know. It's been a while. I haven't seen him in several years, but it was a few years ago.
Well, I hope
But,
he's okay.
Yeah.
Hope it didn't scar him in his brain memory, at least. Anyway, I doubt if
yeah.
that deer survived getting crushed by that semi truck. That
No,
semi
that
truck
was-
It
weighs,
was,
That was ground meat.
Yep.
yeah, semi trucks weigh over 50 tons usually. So I doubt if it would have been edible, even for roadkill
Yep.
meat. I would
Yep.
never try to salvage something like that anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
good meat for the crows and possums. you know.
right.
There you go.
Owls got to
Yeah.
eat, too.
All righty.
Yeah. Dr. Norm, what was the title of that song that you played that had the snake bite in it?
Oh, that's a voodoo. That's the title of the song, Voodoo.
There you go.
And what
Voodoo.
album is it from? What's the CD album that it came from?
What's that, Godsmack? Is that Godsmack? Yeah, that's the band that has it. I don't know the album that it's from.
Okay, well, I'll go drive to Half Price Bookstore and see if they have that CD album in stock, and I'll see if I can exchange it. That sounds like a really good thing to invest in later. I'll get one of those later.
Okay.
go.
And Mr. Coolis, good luck putting more content on your website. I think your website needs a few updates. It's been quite a few years, so hopefully you can get a good designer to help you put all your new stuff on your website. That would be a good idea, sir.
Good. All righty. Appreciate it.
All right.
Talk
Thanks
to
very
you-
much, guys.
talk to you
I'll
soon.
get
Okay.
some more tools for next week.
You
So
got it.
take care.
Okay.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
weekend.
We'll
See
see
you,
you,
Mike.
Mike.
Okay.
Bye.
And now, I got some from Steve, the tree guy. Kind of
Yeah.
goes with your life jacket thing.
Oh, okay.
So in 1985, May 24th, 25th, little after dark. 5 of us went for a boat ride and did not return in the boat. Swam is the operational term, and it was about a 1.5 mile swim.
Oof.
Doc's description of hypothermia brought back memories to mind. Great story, but mostly good ending. So, yeah. Whew, I can't imagine that.
I hope I scared some people
Yeah.
out there.
Well,
You
the thing
should.
about it is, back then, these are these big, bulky Mae West or whatever they call them. You couldn't
And
move.
horse-
and,
And let
horse
me
collars.
tell you, if you go out with somebody, I usually have my own life preserver.
yeah.
But if you go out with somebody and you don't have your life preserver, look at their life preservers. Some of these guys have life preservers that aren't life preservers. They're
I think
pieces of junk.
They should, instead of it maybe calling it a life preserver, it like a life vest or a life belt would sound more, oh, okay, that's easy.
The belts,
know-
the belts are usually no good.
Well, this one
They'll-
that they had
that
was
one's
good.
good.
Yeah.
But those old belts are no
Oh,
good.
no, no,
They'll
no.
turn you upside down.
No,
Yeah.
these are,
That's
this is
a
a
new
good
one.
one. The ones
the,
that
the
Michael
new
brought-
ones are good.
Right.
But
But yeah,
some people have life preservers that are 40 years old. The snaps don't work. They're
Oh, they get
pieces
dry
of junk.
rotted, and they
Yeah,
get-
they're
Yeah.
no
They
good.
get sun
Yeah.
damaged and torn.
Look
well,
at 'em.
because
Look
that's what
at
they
'em.
had, and
Right.
now, well, I won't need
They're
it, but
okay. I never
but
used them.
they make it so easy to wear it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
You know,
Well, that's
get a good one.
I know Michael Bray is really big on wearing your PFDs, and he actually runs contests of people holding up their catch while wearing a life preserver,
Oh.
and then has a drawing.
yeah,
and
but like
gives
the one
away
he's got there,
prizes and-
$65,
Yeah,
and you could save
that's a-
5%
That was a
with
funny
a coupon.
story he had when his went off on him.
Yep.
I
That was
wonder
a funny
where
story.
he doesn't. Let's see, it doesn't say where. Oh, it's on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and you get it the next day or whatever. It's
You
know.
can get a nice one, for $60 to $100, whatever you want to
Yeah.
pay.
Well, there's 65 and 70. That's not bad.
No,
$100
It's not
bucks.
bad at all.
That's
you get
know,
a
it's-
really nice. You get a really nice one.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Even
$100
even the
scares.
vest style, if you go to in order through Bass Pro, it's still going to cost you $50.
Yeah, but
you
that's
know?
$100.
But
That's
that's
pushing
a
it.
good price.
But like the one that Michael put, it was
And
$109.
they're the inflatable ones too.
They're on sale for $70.
Right.
So,
Most of the I know Mustang makes a good inflatable that has the cartridge in it. And
Good Christmas present,
Mhm.
people.
that's an excellent Christmas present.
yeah.
That's actually bought some for. They're hanging up in my closet because I didn't take my boat out this year because it's. I still haven't done the transom.
Do they
I
have?
look at it and I'm like,
What do you got to
I'm
do?
going to the lake.
What do you got to do?
I got to replace a transom. On it.
Oh,
It's sort of
Oh.
a pain.
yeah. My buddy Chris had to do his,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a project because there were 50 million holes that
Yep.
the other
that's
guy
what
had
I got.
drilled
You gotta
holes in it.
Do the whole thing.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it
You can't replace just the little rotted part. You
No,
got to
if
take it all
a piece is rotted, the whole thing's
out.
rotted.
You got it.
Steve, the tree guy wrote.
We
my-
liquid nailed ours.
Yeah,
That old line, but I'll never forget
Steve Tree guy
that.
wrote, "My wife just scolded me again for what happened long before I met her." So they were probably young when it happened. But yeah, it can when you least expect it.
Well, that's I remember Reno talking about this with PFDs and things like that. It's
Yeah.
the most dangerous time on a boat if you're a man is when you
go to the
go
bathroom.
to the bathroom over the
Yeah.
side of the boat.
Yeah.
More people fall in
Yeah. What if a
while
wave
doing
happens
that.
to come or
they
all kinds
lose their
of
balance and
Yeah.
fall in, and most of them aren't wearing their PFDs.
Yeah.
So.
See, now Andy's boat's fine because it's such a high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Gunnel.
you got high gunnels.
But when you have
Yep.
and then if a little wave from a boat or all different
Yeah,
kind of thing,
away
or you
you
just
go.
you can lose your balance at any
That's
time.
another good Christmas present. One of those little mugs with the end on it that you can use to
Yeah,
urinate in.
yeah.
The urinal,
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of those little urinal jars.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah.
like they have at the hospital.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you can get a fancy one, that's
Oh, they got
really
all kinds
sturdy.
now. Yeah, but that's safety is so important.
If you're lucky, you
Especially-
can actually sit down and do
Yeah.
that.
Actually, especially early, when the water's a lot colder than the air temperature.
And deep.
Well, it's always deep, but and then it's not the easiest thing, you guys. It's not easy to get back in these boats. It's not like they got a ladder or something. They're high, and if you should be doing that and the boat's running, then
If
you're
you don't have a swim platform or a good
Oh, yeah.
ladder,
Yeah.
forget
Oh, yeah.
trying to get back
Oh,
into
yeah.
that boat. You're
There-
not going
there's
to
a
step on that
diagram-
engine.
there's
and
a
try to get
diagram
back in the boat.
that's really good. Is you take a rope and tie it at two ends along the side, so the person could step on that, and that helps. And then of course somebody helps you get in. If you're alone, now that's a but that
That's
would
a different story.
that's a whole
Yeah.
different. So, but in that we got to
Be safe out there.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we got a good report coming up there, Doc.
Oh.
I mean, Carl.
Absolutely. We got a great report and breaking news.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So we'll get to that shortly.
Ooh, that's the tease.
That's what we call a tease.
There you
girls
go.
and
We'll
boys.
tease you. We'll take a break and be back.
Whether you're a novice or a well-seasoned angler, if you want that extra edge in catching more fish, you want one of the many species of Kodiak scent. Made from real bait fish, Kodiak fishing scents are made from pure freeze-dried bait. Freeze-drying enhances the scent considerably, making it the most potent fishing scent available to the fishermen today. It comes in many flavors, including shad, crayfish, salmon egg, and the most popular, minnow. Add the paste to your lures, it really sticks. And when a fish hits, it doesn't let go. And if you use tube jigs, try the tube injector. This handy syringe is made especially to be inserted into a tube jig. Kodiak fishing scents are now available online at castaway.com. That's castaway with a K.com. If you want to catch fish, you want Kodiak from Coulis.
Thanks for listening to the Inside the Great Outdoors podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or stories you'd like to share, shoot us an email at jcoulis@castaway.com. That's Castaway with a K. We'll share your comments with our audience on the following week's show. Thanks again for listening to Inside the Great Outdoors.
Welcome back. Listening to Inside the Great Outdoors, and it's time for the fishing report.
Oh, we got reports and
Big
the breaking
Daddy.
news. Breaking news on the fishing front.
Yes.
Oh,
We have a new leader in
Ooh.
the
Which one?
Walleye Fall Brawl.
Okay.
Our listener Brian Rambowski sent me a link. I saw it online earlier as well. Mike Stevenson caught a 29.25-inch, 10.29 pound walleye.
It's not even 30 inches, and it's over 10 pounds. Wow.
Yep.
fatty.
Yeah.
And it's
Not
if
taking
they're
white
that big
govy.
now, I think
They're going to be bigger.
a lot of people that fished the last week in November,
Yeah.
the final week of the events,
Is that
those
usually the
fish are
winner?
going to be
Yeah.
Is
you'll
that
get them
when they're
between between now and then there'll be some 12s that probably come in, 11s and 12,
Wow.
and who knows, maybe something bigger. There's some big walleye out there.
Yeah.
And they're catchable. They're not.
And they catch them from shore.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to have a boat.
yeah. I know my buddy John was catching some 8-9 pounders from the bank, so casting.
Wow.
And,
Yeah, they come in at night, but not always.
evenings they'll come in, and now with the time change, it gets dark at 5:30.
Yeah,
so.
it's hit and miss now.
Oh, the time change is messing me up.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Oh, it's harder to deal with the time change when you work second shift.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Really?
bad. It's because it's dark at. I mean, it's really dark at like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
It's
7
dark
o'clock
at
for sure.
5:30.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dark.
Dark. Yep.
Mm.
But Anyway, it doesn't say where the fish was caught, but it was weighed in at Shines Bait and Tackle on East 55th in
Ooh,
Cleveland. So
probably
I would
caught off
imagine it was
55th
caught
or 76th.
off of Gordon Park
Yep,
somewhere,
yep,
or
yep,
Edgewater, or somewhere like that. So
I bet Mike was happy to see it come in.
absolutely, Mike and Ben over there at Shines, then they stay open just for the brawl. They're a way station. They have all of the lures and tackle you
Yeah.
need. So I'll give them a little plug. And
Buy some potato chips or some pop or something there.
and for you grillers,
grillers,
Shines, they sell the
that
brick
charcoal,
charcoal.
that good charcoal.
Yep, the real charcoal, not the briquettes from Kingsford. This is a bag of real charcoal, the
Oh.
good stuff that burns really hot. And
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, so what's the report?
The report. Well, obviously the walleye are hitting. We talked about that. We talked a little bit about steelhead earlier.
Yeah.
And they're getting them on spoons, casting the little Cleos and KO wobblers off the shore, and the guys are using egg sacs under a float and catching them,
Okay.
and they're using night crawlers to catch them.
Really?
Steelhead love night crawlers,
Wow.
and that's a little known bait that you can use and to catch
Easy.
the steelhead.
Easy. You can.
And yeah, and now's the time. If you've never done it, it's easy. Just remember to set your drag properly, because
Yeah.
if you
You'll
don't,
be surprised.
you'll go. The first thing out of your mouth after you pick up your jaw from the ground is going to be, why didn't I set my drag looser? So just be
Yeah.
aware.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went out to Mosquito, met some of the Cass Cray crew out there and some other folks. There were a lot of people out yesterday. It was a beautiful day. The fishing was not beautiful, though.
No?
It was slow. Caught some good-sized crappies. I got like 3 or 4 that were 10, 11 inches,
Yeah.
and some big bluegills, too. Big pumpkin
Are
seeds
you going
are
to
in
the
there.
same spot?
Yeah, we're fishing the docks by the state park ramp.
Okay.
Just right off the docks.
Okay.
And the fish are in there. There were a couple of nice northern pike that were caught
Oh.
that
How big?
24, 25 inches,
Oh.
good-sized ones.
Yeah.
Not giants,
Yeah.
but, you know,
But I mean, that's a
when
good
you're
fight.
when you're fishing for crappie with a little, a minnow
That's
under a
fight.
hook,
Yeah.
it's a fight.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people running for to
Nets.
get the net.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that was
net.
fun to see.
Good.
Friday went to Nemesilla, did some casting, caught 3 really nice ones. I caught a 12, 11, and a 13.5-inch crappie. And I'm telling you, the crappie in Nemesilla are so heavy. They're fat. They have really thick backs on them. Really a good fillet on them.
Yeah.
I didn't keep them. I let them all go. So.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to work, but it was a good time to get out. The bass guys are there catching bass. You can see the bass chasing the shad, and what's funny, you can tell when it's a bass that's chasing the shad
Or a crop.
or the crappies.
Why?
You can tell by the different way they attack
hit,
the school.
Okay.
Because the crappie, you'll see a flash.
Yeah.
They come up from underneath and sort of go sideways.
Yeah.
A bass just crashes.
Yeah.
And so the bass guys have been doing good, and the guys that are there fishing the evenings, the bass guys, there've been a couple nice walleye caught out of there. So that's another thing. Lake Erie's not the only place you can cast for walleye at night. You can cast for them at Mosquito,
Really?
off the 88 Causeway, or down at the southern end in the state park off the swim
Oh.
beach down there is really
Yeah,
good. I know
yeah.
guys wade out there and cast twister tails on a 1/4-ounce jig head.
Jerk baits work
And,
really
and
good.
the Smithwick Elite 8 jerk baits and the
KVDs.
KVD jerk baits, the Strike King KVD style jerk bait, the floaters,
Yep.
the ones that suspend, the suspending.
Yeah.
So
Gold is a really good
gold
color.
is good, and that natural minnow, sexy shad, I think they call it. That's
Yeah,
a good color.
What color is it?
It looks like a
Like a
shad.
shad.
It's
Oh.
got sort of a yellow stripe down the side with a spot
Okay.
on it. and
Okay.
that's a good color. But you're right, gold is a really good
You'll
color.
get pike with that too.
Yeah. That's what's fun too about fishing for walleye and things with the jerk baits is you never know when a big pike's going to come up.
Yeah.
Or a bass.
Or a bass. The there is news on Ladue Reservoir that it's almost drained.
I drove
It
by
is
there.
so it looks like a creek going through it.
I happen to
And
have to go
I don't know
to,
what's going on
Yeah.
there.
I went to Pettigrew Hardware
Yeah.
to get, I picked up 2,500 pounds of chicken feed.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there and I could not believe just a little creek, like you
Yeah.
said. But
It's-
I've never seen it, but I know that it was just all mostly a little creek going through.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But
Well, shouldn't it start changing now?
I don't know.
Too late for fishing.
Well, I think part of it they're holding water upstream to keep the river level low as they dredge that area behind the Gorge Dam because they're getting ready to start taking that out. I don't know if it's
Oh.
next year or 26, but
yeah.
they're getting rid of all the silt and all that other stuff behind it.
Yeah.
So they're trying
Well,
to
they're
lower
doing
the water
something.
level. And
Because it
Yeah.
ain't just
but it's a shame to see it like that. It's such a good
Yeah.
lake. It's such an awesome fishing lake with
Oh, they
crappies
have.
and bass
yeah.
and
And I know
northerns,
guys that
catfish,
want to go there,
walleyes.
they can't hit their spots where
Yeah.
they're normally good.
Yeah.
In a
And
way,
you
it
can't
can
even launch
be
a
good.
boat there.
There could be a positive thing if you're able to get around to find spots that are normally
Yeah.
not exposed, and you say, okay, make a mental or
Look
mark
at that
down.
spot.
That's some good spots. So that could be a positive, more negative, but then you'll be okay for next year. But-
Another decent report, and it's on Mogador, another one of the Akron watershed lakes, electric only, down in Suffield, Ohio, and right on the border with Suffield and Mogador, Ohio. They're catching perch. It's hit and miss, but they're catching some perch in there off the floating dock by Route 43 in the boathouse. They're getting some on that side, and they're getting some off of Tickner Road. It's just the ones off Tickner Road, they'll move in, then they move out into deeper water, and guys in the boats are doing better on the perch. And my friend Jay Legg is his name. He called me last night, was regaling me with stories of a 14 and a half or 14 and a quarter inch crappie he caught at Mogador yesterday.
Ooh.
And sent me pictures, so it's
yeah.
And he said they had a slow day, but they got that big fish, and that made the whole day.
Sure.
Just a giant crappie like that. They
Oh,
caught a few
yeah.
perch and some crappies.
Well, they get
and,
really thick when
Yeah.
they get big like that.
but they're feeding up. They're eating shad and the high protein, and they really put on the weight to prepare for winter. So hopefully, seeing all these nice big thick fish is going to mean we're going to get some snow and ice this year.
Yeah.
And finally, at Portage Lakes, I've heard great things about the red ear fishing, the big red ears. They're in at the state park area, Old State Park, fishing around the docks back by the boat launch at Old State Park. Just using a small jig, an ice fishing jig with a chunk of worm on it. They're using red
and
worms.
don't they get tastier now that they get a
Oh
little
yeah, cold water.
cold water?
Their metabolism slows, and
Yeah.
then they're eating more insect larvae and things
Yeah.
like that. They don't taste as grassy as they do in the summer.
Okay.
It like cleans the meat out. Their system it cleans out and that meat's
So there is a
really
reason-
translucent and clear and
So there
and
is a
very
reason why
sweet.
they taste better.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But
With this rain, too, Carl, you can go out and find worms in your driveway.
yeah, there
I
you
found
go.
some worms the other day.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
be coming up.
It's if it's warm, and it was pretty warm when
Southern
I went out
wind,
to my
south
truck.
wind, and
Yeah, they're you can
Mhm.
get some night crawlers.
yeah. So definitely fish are biting out there. It's a little rainy today, but hey, the fish are already wet, and that's why they make rain gear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Night
So- Chris-
crawlers are crawling.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And fish are biting.
And so get out there, enjoy it, and catch a few fish. keep what you can use and let the rest go for next time.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. And the other thing, I went to Wilson Feed Mill,
Mhm.
and I buy rolled oats
Mhm.
for the chickens. It's a great treat. And I got to take him those block holders that American makes it, and I think I'm going to be a distributor for them. You can use the blocks for deer.
Mhm.
It holds 2 or 1 big one, but it's also great for chickens because I got it on mine. In fact, I want to talk about my chicken week that I had this week. But put those in there, it keeps it off the ground. Which was interesting. They buy these blocks for the chickens or for the deer, and they actually absorb more moisture from the ground and makes it moldy than it would for rain. But this keeps it off the ground and also from rain. You put it on a little block, and the chickens love it, and it lasts quite a while. So come wintertime,
Joe and his oats. He's
Yeah.
sowing oats again.
Boy,
I'm-
at his
I
age,
Never
you know.
quits.
nope. And I'm going to put it inside the coop because they don't like to go out in the snow. So they'll have something to keep them busy because they can get bored, when they don't like snow.
Speaking of chickens, I might hit a little bird flu when you're done with your little spiel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
well,
the
I might
thing
make some
that-
chicken soup today. That's
I made chicken soup.
chicken
last
and
week.
rice.
The thing about wild duck and geese too,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about salmonella with them.
oh,
Mm.
You only have to worry about salmonella with the ones that are raised in pens.
yeah.
Wasn't Salmonella a charter captain?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam Salmonella.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's it.
Let's take a break. We'll be back on the other side.
My little lover does a midnight shift. She follows around all the time. I guess it's just one thing left for me to do. Gonna pack my bags and move on my way. 'Cause I got a worried mind, sharing what I thought was mine. Gonna leave her with a guitar's play.
If you troll for walleye, steelhead, or even salmon, you need to check out Castaway's Magnetic Divers. The release is magnetic, so if it trips accidentally, no need to retrieve it. Simply give the line slack, it sinks and resets itself automatically. When fishing is slow, trip the diver when trolling. It will come up through the water column and very often trigger a strike because you are now covering different depths. It can be set to go off to the right, left, or straight behind the boat. It comes in 3 sizes and different colors. Why not try one today? You can order them online at castaway.com. That's castaway.com with a K. You will not only improve your fishing success, but will make trolling fun again because of no more retrieving after a false release. That's Castaway's Magnetic Diver at www.castaway.com with a K.
Thanks for listening to the Inside the Great Outdoors podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or stories you'd like to share, shoot us an email at jcoulis@castaway.com. That's Castaway with a K. We'll share your comments with our audience on the following week's show. Thanks again for listening to Inside the Great Outdoors.
Welcome back. Storytelling time. And so this week I haven't had this problem, but I got a bunch of cameras watching my chicken coop and some of the other parts. I haven't had problems with raccoons lately because I got a bunch. What I did learn from Chris Ham, the trapper guy, is that remember earlier in the year I had pictures of 2 at a time. And I figured it was a pair, you would think. And every one that I caught after that, which I caught 3 or 4, they were all males. I thought, well, where's that female? I think he said the term is called diode. At this time of year, males run together. So what I had pictures of was males. So I got cameras out watching. It's been very quiet. I haven't seen anything. So, but here I look, and I posted it on Facebook. Here's a great horned owl, which I have not seen. I haven't heard or seen a great horn in a while. Barred owls a lot, but I haven't heard them lately, although it's getting earlier and I'm out in the woods and then I'm in the house, so I'm not outside after dark anyway. But here's a great horned owl by the electric door of the chicken inside the fenced-in area. I thought, woo, and he looked around. Well, there's no chickens there, so he flew away. So I asked him, what could I do to deter it? And he says, take the Mylar strips and hang it from the electric fence. So I did that. Well, the owl, so a chicken decided it didn't want to go in when it's time, and the automatic door closes 20 minutes after it's almost dark. So why it stayed out, I don't know. Well, here came the owl, and I got video of him attacking it. But an owl, a chicken is too heavy for an owl to fly off with. So I'm looking, and sure enough, it died. He probably fed on it a little bit further away. It was on a camera. So I thought, well, I'll leave it out there. It's, when I go in, it's a project to take the electric off and untie things. So here I am looking out, and here's another dead chicken during the day. Okay, that's not from an owl, that's from a hawk. If I would have got that out of there, he wouldn't have been flying around, so I lost 2 chickens. So I happened to look outside yesterday, after church, around 5 o'clock, and just as I looked, a hawk flies down through and hits a chicken. So they all went in. I did look inside the coop when I went to collect eggs, and there was one just sitting there. I hope it's going to make it. So I called Chris because he told me, I says, a hawk, I got a hawk problem. And he says, I've never heard of having a hawk problem if you put out those strips. He said, well, where do you got them? Where do you have them? And I says, I tied them to the top of the electric fence, and they're fluttering, and they're setting off the camera at night because a little bit of breeze, and they're moving. He says, no, you got to get it up in the air.
Higher.
Got to have it like 6 foot. Now it's just at 3 foot. Well, the hawk, he's not worried. So what I have to do, probably I won't deal today with it, but tomorrow I'm going to have to get some high sticks, maybe tie it to the coop and string. He said the easiest thing is take a string and tie it and either out to the ground further out or to a stick. It's got to be up, where they would fly. I just happened to look, and there's a hawk, it was too
Joe,
big.
he's out there making a living.
Well, make a living somewhere else. I got to make a living too. So, but it was interesting so I think I still have a solution. And I went to Tractor, wherever, and bought, it's called a Mylar door. It just is real, it's only, I wish it was wider, but it's 3/8 wide. I tie 2, that it's like 8 foot long. You put in a door as a kind of little bit of divider.
Mm-hmm.
And
You could probably hang CDs up there too.
Probably, but this is a lot easier. And I got it. I got everything.
Yeah.
I just got to figure the sticks, because I got to have it over the area where he would come in. But it was odd that I just happened to look out. So, but he didn't get much feathers. He hit it a couple times. He flew off. But I saw one that's in a corner, and he's kind of like, just sitting there not feeding. And I'm taking the, like the rolled oats I got from Wilson Feed Mill. And so I'm hoping he's going to carry those block feeders. I have to take it to him and show it to him. But yeah, so it was an interesting week.
That's a good story.
Yeah, I got to get, let's get to Hamden in here quickly.
Hammy.
Hamden!
Hammy.
Yo ho!
Ho!
Yes.
Don't call
yes. I just
that name.
I just
Why not?
was relaxing, listening to your stories, and
Good.
a strange
hungry
sense
for
of
chicken now.
pathetic calm came over me. Yeah, I want to carry out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Rotisserie.
Or a carry in.
Well, Yeah, well, or just cash and carry.
Well, that carries or
whatever you
carrying.
got. Yeah.
Carrying.
And
Right,
boy,
got it,
it was
carrying.
nice to hear some old names like Roz calling in. That has
Yeah.
been forever. I wish you'd have picked her brain a little more and asked her how she's been and where she's been and what's going on, girlfriend. So next weekend, Roz,
There you go.
fill us in, will you? It's been forever.
There you
Good
go.
God, girl.
Yeah.
And I missed the break call-in show, and I missed a lot, but at least I'm here to capture this. So
There you go.
I just really, it's been a calm thing. I'm recovering from celebrating the bride, St. Julie, as they call her at Castaway, her 70th birthday.
Oh,
Nice get-together last night here at the House of Pain in Hamville, and we took care of things. So
Good.
I'm in a state of grace. Life is good, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had. I just
good.
wanted to say hello, and thank you for local radio as always.
Good. Well, nice hearing from you.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, why don't you go on to other
Yeah, we
gratuitous
got a couple
Philistines
calls
that are
or
a little bit
something.
better at being
Yeah.
human than me and take those calls.
You got it.
Gotcha.
All right.
I'll issue you a formal toodles and see you
Toodles.
next week.
All righty.
Bye.
We'll
Yeah.
see ya.
Let's get to Dale. We got a bunch of calls. Hello, Dale.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
Listen, I just wanted to update on Doc did an awesome thing on winterizing the boats and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
the second most important piece on your boat besides your life jackets, if you got a motor, is that battery. And
Mhm.
putting them away in the right way for the winter is important to keep them alive. Because I had a Crestliner boat with a 90 horse Mercury on it, 2-stroke. That thing had a pull cord for it.
Yeah.
And I just hope and pray I never had to try to pull start that son.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That's a
I had a pull start on a 250.
Oh, gee.
Woo. Yeah, and one time I was
You gotta be
stranded.
Hulk Hogan to do that.
I was stranded out at West Sister.
Oh.
Oh, what a ride. Somebody pulled me, luckily. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that
I
was
always
just,
charge mine all winter. I used to take them out
Yeah,
and charge
a
them,
trickle
but I'm
charge.
too old to do that. Yeah, I just
Right.
charge it. I got a charger on the boat.
In the
Yeah,
garage.
yeah, and I just charge it on the
Trickle.
boat. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
the other thing that may save you one day is those packs, the battery packs. The portable jump starters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are good. Those are good nowadays.
Yeah.
That'd be another great Christmas present for
Here you go.
right?
For your car or your boat.
Car or your boat.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
They're small enough now you can haul them around.
Yeah.
We got
Amazing.
2 calls in a
Amazing
row
what they
today.
have now.
All right, so I followed my neighbor Bob, and that's 2 calls from Hamden you got in a row this
There you
morning.
go.
There you go.
Thanks, Dale.
Thanks, Dale.
Thanks.
Great.
Appreciate it.
We'll
You got
see
it.
ya.
Okay, you got a couple of minutes here, Doc.
Oh, okay. Bird flu. We talked a lot about bird flu a couple of weeks ago and the potential to become a real problem in mammals, and that means us. And we talked about ferrets last week and how they are used as a lab animal, especially in the study of influenza. Well, a strain of H5N1 from the eye of a Texas dairy worker was isolated and tested in ferrets and found to be easily transmitted by airborne means. 6 ferrets were separated and exposed. High levels of the virus reached the lungs of these ferrets, and 5 of the ferrets died. So that's not a
Whoa.
good sign that this virus is jumping around. And it could, in the future, cause some problems with us, unfortunately.
Wow.
Something to
I'm
watch.
still
for.
hungry for chicken.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, we got to take a break, and then I'm sure we got Joe Keels on
There's
the line.
lots of good news.
Yeah, Good News Keels there, so we'll get to him and whatever else. So we'll talk to you on the other side.
I hear you, Fred.
Do Do you enjoy a good story about hunting or fishing? Then you need to get your hands on Tales from the Trails, the real-life adventures of Castaway Coulis. Take a journey around the world with Joe as he recounts some of his best hunting and fishing trips, from Africa to Alaska, from behind the Iron Curtain to Australia. You can share in his memories through the book, complete with pictures to take you on the journey. It's a trip back in time looking through the eyes of an outdoors legend. Order your copy today on Amazon or at castaway.com. That's castaway with a K.com. Thanks for listening to the Inside the Great Outdoors podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or stories you'd like to share, shoot us an email at jcoulis@castaway.com. That's Castaway with a K. We'll share your comments with our audience on the following week's show. Thanks again for listening to Inside the Great Outdoors.
Welcome back. Time for some good news with Good News Keo. Right?
That's right. That's right.
Boy, a lot of leaves are
And again-
falling past the windows here. I don't know where. Well,
Well,
yeah,
the wind
there
has
are
picked
some
up a
trees
little
out
bit.
there. So, yeah,
Yeah,
my
looks
leaves
like
are all
a
gone. But
stiff south
Yeah.
wind, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. It's actually the temperature has fallen a little bit from 6 o'clock.
Is it?
It was like 47 when I got up, and now it's like 44. So
Ooh.
it's going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And rain. And we do need rain. We had a
Yeah,
lot of
we
brush
do.
fires.
It's supposed to really rain all day, so, and it's
Yeah.
been looking on radar. Although it could end maybe afternoon, which I hope it was, because I'd like to get out to the tree blind for the last couple hours, maybe. So, but go ahead.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, all the good news this week comes out of the Ohio Outdoor News. Again, this is one of the easiest jobs to have in radio because it's all
Yeah.
laid out for you.
And you got lots there.
And actually,
lots
This is a
there.
job?
Yeah.
It is? How come we don't get paid?
That's right.
How come it costs me to
Well-
instead of getting paid?
It's right. right.
Oh, well.
There is some good news on the wild turkey front. Nothing crazy, but the numbers are going in the right direction at
Good.
least. They're looking at they tagged a bunch of birds, put some telemetry on them. They're looking at survivability, and the hen survival rates over the years are pretty good.
Do they know why it declined? Do they?
Well, they're talking about habitat. I tend to, I don't think the habitat has changed a whole lot in the last
No.
20 years.
No.
20 years ago was like the golden age of wild turkeys here in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah.
But I personally, and this is just anecdotal on my part, but I think the number of predators out there is awfully tough on
Yes.
ground nesting.
Yes.
I think that is a large, may not be the only reason.
No,
but
but
I
I,
think it's
I agree between raccoons, skunks,
Yeah.
possums,
Mhm.
and deer. I'm sorry, and coyotes and fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There's it's just awfully tough being a bird that
Yeah.
lays their eggs on the
On the
ground.
I mean, they could be lucky where they could lay it a second time and it might survive. But the problem is they don't take one, they take the whole nest. So,
Right.
that's the problem. And then when they're young, because of the mainly coyotes, then they got to contend with keeping their young safe. So, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't want to
It's not
interrupt.
easy
but
being a turkey.
no.
It's not easy being a turkey. That's for sure.
Right.
Boy, Joe knows it.
Wise guy. God, what I put
that was
up
a-
with. Jeez. I'm glad
That
I'm
was a
feeling
hanging
better than I did this morning, boy. I'll tell you.
I
Thanks
just
to
got to keep
Doc's-
you on your toes there.
Yeah, since Doc with his goodies, he got me got me over the hump. Go ahead.
Got him over the hypoglycemia.
Yeah, man, we think something's going on. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
Carl, that was a hanging curve I fed you there.
Oh,
You- you
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Boom.
I got a swing.
Yeah. You
Home
never
run.
miss either. Jeez.
A couple other good news stories involve wildlife officers.
Oh,
The first one comes to us from Erie County.
Ohio Division of Wildlife Officer. Let's see, Michelle Butler.
Yeah, I saw that
She's
picture.
in Erie County. She was awarded the Mississippi Flyway Council Waterfowl Protection Officer of the Year,
Wow.
and that's no small
That's right. That's a big
award.
deal.
That's
No.
composed of 14 states and 3 Canadian provinces comprise the area, and it was established to promote the activities of waterfowl conservation and education. And she is an avid waterfowler herself.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Erie County, that's probably one of the largest waterfowling
Yes.
counties in Ohio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prime spot.
Swampy spot.
So
Yeah.
that's off to Officer Michelle Butler. Well done.
Oh,
done.
that's
Yeah,
great.
this one's even more remarkable, I think. And you may have seen this one, but it certainly deserves repeating. The wildlife officer assigned to, what county was this? Columbiana. So it's in Northeast Ohio. Officer Jesse Janisic received the award for valor, resulting from an incident that occurred in mid-July where he was on routine patrol and a call came over the sheriff's radio that there was a child severely injured in a mowing accident.
Oh, I heard about
And he was just a minute away. So he responded and was the first person on scene. And this little toddler had been run over by a zero-turn mower.
Jeez.
And had severe leg injuries. And Officer Janisic grabbed his medical kit and got the tourniquets out, stopped the bleeding.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the child ended up losing one of his legs.
Oh.
Both
he
legs were
survived.
involved.
Yeah, both legs were
Oh.
involved, and if he wouldn't have been there, he probably would have bled to death.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
geez.
It was bad, so he did a great job.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so well-deserved recognition there, and
Mm-hmm.
and that just kind of emphasizes that a lot of people don't realize that wildlife officers are
Yeah.
law enforcement officers, and they tend to work closely, particularly with sheriff's offices, because in counties that don't have a lot of police departments, they rely on the sheriff's office, more rural areas.
Yeah.
That's where you're likely to find wildlife officers too, and they work together quite often. And it's kind of how I got to know Jake, many years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
We worked on a lot of different calls together. So, hats off again to another fine wildlife officer out there, and we got a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. 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 You'd think, oh, boy, they're the bad side, but they do a lot of good things. So,
I'll tell you, whenever I see a wildlife officer out on patrol,
yeah.
whether it's in hunting areas or fishing areas, and they stop to check licenses, I think that's an awesome thing.
Sure.
Because they're doing their job and they're checking to see that we're doing the right thing.
Right. Because
also.
and
they're not jerks either.
Right. And I would say
think
the
they're great
the
guys.
biggest thing is
And girls.
and gals.
The money goes to a good cause.
Mhm.
It goes to have better hunting and fishing. So, it's it's not that much compared to some of these other states. Or if you go out of state, go to Pennsylvania and buy an out of state license.
It's like $70
or more. So yeah,
75,
it's
something like
yeah.
that.
So it's But go ahead,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what I had earmarked for
Good
news.
good,
There's
good.
a lot of other good news. There's Wildlife Legacy Stamp coming out. A local fellow won the photo contest for that. I think he's out of Lorraine, I think.
Yeah.
Those hummingbird moths. If you've never seen a hummingbird moth, and it's pretty unusual to see one. But if you have a lot of flowers,
They're so cool.
Yeah, good.
they
Okay. You got
They're-
any
they are
got
really
any other good words of wisdom culture wise?
Oh, I do. I do, and this comes from Nash Buckingham. And do you remember who he was?
No.
He was a outdoor writer.
Oh,
Joe used to hunt
he
ducks with him.
he was that Bronze Age hunter from England.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, boy.
Now, Nash passed away over 50 years ago at the age of 90, but he was one of the premier outdoor writers of the first half of the 20th century. He wrote for Field and Stream, Outdoor Life, Sports Afield, all those, and he had a number of books published. And he was a very avid outdoorsman and conservationist. But he wrote, "What's more delightful than one's emotions when approaching a trout stream for the initial cast?"
Yeah.
And we talked about that. The anticipation is kind of half the fun of most any endeavor that you enjoy doing. The planning part, the anticipation of just getting there, and I don't know that there's a better feeling than getting on a stream and making that first cast.
Yeah. Cool. Good. All right. Well, I want to cut it a little short because I know Doc wanted to say something about veterans, so shorten here a little bit. But we'll talk to you next week.
See you, Joe.
Okay, leave me on so I can hear it, so I don't have to tune back
Okay,
in.
I'll leave it on. Okay.
Well, just thank a veteran today. We have one here, Marine, Carl.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi. We have one on the phone, Air Force.
Yeah.
I'm not a veteran. Joe's not a veteran,
No.
but my dad was a veteran, World War II. My father-in-law was a veteran, Army Air Corps, Sergeant, Army Air Corps, South Pacific. So, I have a lot of friends that are veterans, and we got to thank them all. This whole weekend is for veterans. It's just not tomorrow.
Yes.
Put your flags out, everybody, and thank a veteran if you know one or have a brother, father, whatever. These guys are the greatest. They
gave up a lot.
They gave up years to help our country.
Right.
I know the 11th is slated as Veterans Day, but in my mind, every day is Veterans Day.
This is true.
We wouldn't have the things we have without them.
Exactly.
So thank you to everyone who served. You are much appreciated, much respect, and it's important to remember that.
We wouldn't have our country. We wouldn't be able to vote if we didn't have our veterans.
Yeah.
If you want something to do, I know it's rainy, but it's free for veterans today at your local shooting range in the state of Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good.
I saw that article.
I don't think it's every range, though.
The new one, the big new one with the roof on over the what's it called? I just lost my train of thought. The alleys, shooting alleys.
Well, yeah.
But it's just search Church Veterans Day shooting range, and it'll pop up in your
Good.
Google machine.
ODNR. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Joe, and I'll talk to you next week.
All right.
I'll see you.
Thank
Okay. You got it.
Okay.
We'll get out there, so not anything. Veterans will make somebody else smile if you see somebody and mention to them, especially the workers that are working at the stores and got to give up their Sunday while you're relaxing or whatever, and they have to work. So just tell them, boy, you got a pretty smile, or your hair is pretty, or you're whatever.
Thanks.
Just, jeez. And because we know a day without a smile is a day wasted. So anybody you can make smile, they're happy, you're happy. Same thing if you call somebody you haven't talked to in a while, they'll be happy to hear from you, and so it's win-win for them and you. So it's a good thing to do. So remember to do that as you go through the day. And also, as my mother always told me, now, Joey, don't you ever take anyone at Nichols.
You've been listening to Inside the Great Outdoors with Joe Coolis, Joe Keogh, and Dr. Norm. Join us every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on AM 1420 The Answer. Download the podcast of today's show and previous broadcasts at igoradio.com. Follow the show on Facebook and get interactive with the cast and crew. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, 7 a.m., right here on AM 1420 The Answer.